Hey guys, and welcome to another song lesson with me, Rex Pearson from rexpearson.com. We're looking at a Snow Patrol song today. This is probably the second, I think, Snow Patrol song that we've covered over at rexpearson.com. So grab yourself a drink, grab yourself a guitar, and get ready to learn this brand new and very cool song. It mixes a couple of techniques. We're not doing a finger picking approach for this one. We're going to be using a plectrum, so I hope your alternate picking technique is top scratch. Because you're going to be needing to get it out now. If at any point any of the chords or any of the techniques you don't quite understand, head over to rexpearson.com. It's all completely free, and there's a bunch of guitar courses that will allow you to play a song just like this one. Okay, the first shape that we're going to be learning, we're not going to look at the picking pattern first, we're just going to learn the shapes and then we'll move on from there. The first shape, you've got to get your second finger on the 8th fret on the B string, you've got to get the 4th finger on the 11th fret on the G string, and the first finger on the D string at the 8th fret. Now make sure that all of them are ringing out nice and clearly. One thing to note with this song, the little finger is going to get a lot of work on this, so if your little finger is quite weak, which it usually is for most guitarists, it's going to get one hell of a workout on this, so just to prepare yourself for a little bit of physical activity on the little finger. So you've got that first shape. Next shape, all you need to do once you've got that one ringing out clearly is very simple. You just raise the first finger by 1 fret, so it moves up a fret. And you pick from bottom to top on that one. So top to bottom, bottom to top. The next one is quite a hard change compared to that one. Let's just teach you the shape first. You've got 4th finger, it's going to flatten across from where it is at the 11th fret onto the 11th fret on the B string. And you want to get this sort of unhealthy looking sort of arch in the little finger, which means that you're barring with the little finger. Now I'm barring across the G and the B strings here. If that is too difficult, or if your finger doesn't quite want to do that, give it a try first. If it doesn't, you can still play this song. It just means a slightly more difficult change, in that you'll need to use the 3rd finger, and then the 4th finger will need to move from where it was here down to the B string. The first finger is going to stay where it was. That is the shape you want to do, and there's 2 fingerings that you can do for that. This one, using the 1st, 3rd and 4th, or you can flatten off the 4th finger, which is what I do, and I would recommend you try, because it makes the change a lot easier, like so. Okay, now for the picking pattern. One very important thing that you do is to alternate pick every single note. So if you do a down stroke, you should start with the down on the first note. Everything after that will go up, down, up, down, up, down, regardless of what string you're crossing. Make sure you stick rigidly to an alternate picking pattern, because it will really help you learn future songs. Okay, first part, you start off with the first note, which is the highest note, the one that you're doing with the 2nd finger here, down. And then if you imagine that you're going from the top to the bottom, and then you repeat the pattern until you hit that G string on its own there, and you don't hit the bass note again. So you've got... Okay, the next part of the picking pattern, rather than going from the top and then picking downwards, you move the finger to this 2nd position we've learnt, and you start from the bottom and work your way up to the top. And again you stop on that G string in the middle. The next one, whether or not you flatten off the finger or not, it's up to you. You do the same thing again, but this chord lasts for twice as long as the other ones, and it sounds like this. Now all that is the pattern repeated twice. You go from down to the top, pause on that G string and do it again. Now the hardest part of the change is getting from here back to the first shape. Now it would be different depending on whether you're doing this fingering on the last chord or the 4th finger flattened off, but you'll want to practice changing from this chord shape to this chord shape. Not that chord shape, this chord shape. So spend some time shifting from the 2 chords until you can get them sounding smooth. then build in the picking pattern after that. And that, guys, is the intro. Now you'll see in the demonstration, and if you're watching on the video on YouTube, there's a link in the description, but if you're on the website, it's a lot easier. There's a demonstration button at the top. You can see me demonstrate this song. I changed to the chords. Now, just so that you know what chords are going on around this picking pattern, I'm going to teach you 3 chord shapes that are really cool chord shapes that you can use even outside of this song. The first one is an F sharp sus2 chord. Don't worry about the name, it looks like this. First finger on the 8th fret here, then you've got the 11th fret covered by the 3rd and the 4th fingers, and you're barring across a 5-string bar chord. And that is the shape. F sharp sus2. The second chord is slightly different, but very similar. All that happens is the 3rd finger, which is here on the 11th fret on the D string, goes up 1 string, and that's it. And the same bar chord. Again, it's a 5-string, but it doesn't matter if you hit the low bass note. There's a couple of names for that chord. The next one is an E sus2 chord, and that's the final one. And this is exactly the same as the one that you just did, the F sharp, but just moved down 2 frets, and it's a 6-string chord as well. So you've got that chord progression going on over these chords. Second chord shape, third chord shape. And just like the riff, that last chord lasts for twice as long as the other 2. And there you have it, guys. That's the intro, picking pattern done. The chords that are going on in the background done. So if you don't want to do the finger picking pattern, you can at least play the chords. You might be wanting to sing along or something like that, and the picking be a bit too difficult. Next up is the sort of the main chorus slash pre-chorus. It's pretty much what happens when things start building up. So let's learn the chords for that.